Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Ian from Powerhouse Miniatures. This is Horus Heresy Book 7 Inferno, Sisters of Silence review, basically. So I'm splitting up, then reviewing the sort of special rules, Wargear, the equipment, and all the rules of the talons of the Emperor, basically. And I'm splitting it up into sort of 20-30 minute sections, so I don't upload a 2-3 hour video onto YouTube. So if you've seen my previous video about the Custodes, we went over the Custodes special rules, the support weapons, war gear, stuff like that, ranged weapons. So we're pretty much going to do the same for the Sisters of Silence now. Now, I'm not going to read a lot of this out. So if you pause this, you can just have a look. I'm sure this is recording in H enough D that you can sort of pause this and then have a good gander at it. I don't know whether that is okay or not. So listen, if somebody's watching and think it's not okay that I'm doing this, then fine, let me know. But there's a load of videos on YouTube of people showing you the exact rules, telling you all the rules, and then also, doing video you can pause. So I'm doing the same thing. I don't know whether it's legal or not, but there we go. Right, Sisters of Silence. So they've got Psychic Anathema. Anathema. Some of these are really difficult to pronounce. It's a real workout for your voice, which is really good. So Psychic Nulls, such as assistants of so nulls as a noun, such as the Sisters of Silence, are almost impossible to affect with imperial powers. Their minds are not simply absent or inert to a psyker's mental perception, but howling abysses of darkness that not only negate psychic force directed at them, but actively interfere with the flow of the warp around them. Such is the fundamental sense of wrongness that such individuals carry with them, that even those without psychic potential are subject to almost phobic reaction to their presence. And the psykers and creatures of the Empyrean, they are an anathema, their mere presence a debilitating toxin. It's written very well, it's dreadfully good, isn't it? Models with a special rule are immune to all psychic powers and cannot be affected by them. Oops. Such is the fundamental sense of... Oh no, sorry. Just reading that again. They also ignore the effect of telepathy. Sorry, I'm messing this up here. Telepathy, discipline, blessings on an enemy units, which would negatively affect the models which have the Psychic Anathema special rule. This effect does not extend to transport vehicles used by models with this special rule, which makes sense, obviously. All units within 12 inches of any model with this special rule suffer -1 to their leadership, and it increases to -2 if their model is a psyker. Models who have the Fearless special rule, who themselves have the Psychic Anathema special rule, are not subject to this effect, although models who are just immune to fear are. Note that this affects friend and foe equally. Okay. So your own army has -1 leadership with them, I think. Okay. Units within 12 inches of the models of the Psychic Anathema must reroll failed Deny the Witch tests. All units with the Demon special rule within 12 inches of the model suffer... with the Psychic Anathema suffer -1 to their toughness, or if they have an armor value instead of toughness, add +1 to rolls on the vehicle damage table when they suffer within this range. All models with psychic powers suffer a penalty to their roll to manifest psychic powers when near any model with the Psychic Anathema special rule. This penalty is -1 within 12 inches, increasing to -2 within base contact. For example, if a psyker manifests their own powers on a 4+, this becomes 5+ within 12 inches of the psyker, the model with the Psychic Anathema special rule, and 6+ in base-to-base contact. So, Ex Oblivio. The most potent psychic nulls are actively lethal to psychics in their proximity. They have managed through training and discipline to harness the focus of emptiness within, and wield it as a weapon against the witch. So let's move down a little bit. Psychic models or units within 6 inches of the models gaining the special rule at the start of their psychic phase do not generate additional warp charge dice. If any psychic model is in base-to-base contact with... I'm messing this up, sorry. If a psychic model is in base contact with a model with this special rule at the start of any psychic phase, they must immediately take a leadership test before the warp charge is rolled for. If failed, they immediately suffer perils of the warp at -1 and may not use psychic powers during the phase they did this, should they survive. That's pretty cool. So design notes, psychic models and radius of effect. Where the term psyker is used in conjunction with the rules found within this section, this is shorthand for any model with the Psyker, Brotherhood of Psykers, or Brotherhood of Sorcerers, and Psychic Pilot special rule, who gains the ability to use psychic powers or psychic mastery levels by any means. Where an ability such as a Psychic Anathema is listed with a radius in which it has one or more effects or negative modifiers, these effects and modifiers last while other models are within the listed range of the model with the special rule, and end instantly when models cease to be within that range. Cool. Right, well, it's quite clear-cut, to be fair. Just don't put any Psychers near them. It's interesting that it affects your own army as well, this one. Friend and foe equally. So there's going to be some interesting list building with that, obviously, just to sort of keep them away. -1 isn't too bad, to be completely honest, especially with the Talons of the Emperor. Like, most of them are going to be leadership 10 anyway, but I imagine there'll be times it comes up. So, Fanatic Discipline. Models with a special rule are fearless. In addition, they have Hatred, Psychers, special rule, obviously. So it's just complete anti-Psyker. It's everything you'd want from them, basically. If you listen to the Horus Heresy books or read them, I'll listen to the audiobooks. This is completely accurate to them. You know, they cause people like a great psychic discomfort just to be around them, which makes a lot of sense. So, Company Cadre. Is it Cadre? I don't know. Cadre. I'm just thinking about that, actually. Is it? Company Cadre. Ooh, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, excuse me. I've done it before, like, loads of times. The Sisters of Silence operate most often in relatively small, highly focused paramilitary formations known as the company cadres. I don't know. Under the direct command of a single officer. The cadre commander often is the Oblivion Knight, or at least the Censura rank of one of the Silent Judges. Beneath them, the force is broken down into a number of sub-cadres, identified by coded designations, which outside seems totemistic, if not outright barbaric, in their nomenclature. This belies their complex nature and the web of strategic discipline and deployment which underpins the company cadres, making them extremely flexible, task-orientated forces in battle. So, cadre structure. In order to field any units with the company cadre special rule, using the Talent of the Emperor army list, at least one HQ unit with a special rule must be a part of the detachment for every 3 non-HQ units with the company commander company cadre special rule in the same detachment. For example, 1 HQ with the company cadre is required to field up to 3 other units, 2 HQs to field between 4 and 6 units, and so on. Right, let me just have a think about that for a minute. Right, okay. So you just need one guy with that rule to have 3 of the others. And 2 HQs and stuff, so it's going to limit them just a little bit. It makes sense. It makes sense, right. Cadre tactics. When the Sisters of Silence must leave their black ships and the duties of the Cull to prosecute their war elsewhere in the Imperium, those warriors who make up the cadres sent forth are carefully chosen to complement the military objectives of their mission, and they are drilled with merciless precision to the task. One of the following additional benefits may be given to all units in the detachment with the company cadre special rule: Infiltrate, Crusader, Stealth, and Overawe, which is +1 to the total of the outcome of the assault, which is pretty cool. So they can have Infiltrate and Stealth as well. That's really cool. Really useful. So, Vigilator Mistress Euphemia King. That's badass. Now, this one, obviously there's a little bit of backstory, and you can read that if you just pause this video. This one here, you can build that exact miniature from the Sisters of Silence box set that's out now. And again, I'll be, uploading this almost immediately, because these videos always seem to do pretty well as soon as they come out. The longer you leave it, like the less views they get, sort of thing. But you can definitely build this miniature out of the Sisters of Silence box set that's out now. So in the box, you get a choice of bolters and flamers, or you can have the Great Executioner greatswords, and there's like 5 of each, obviously. Now this one in particular, you can build this exact miniature, even down to these little details on the scab, the loincloth piece. There's a sword face down with a hand, there's an empty hand, this exact shoulder pad, that sort of thing. So you can build this exact miniature, and you can use it there. The helmet and everything as well. It's just exact. So we're getting onto the Wargear for him now. But that in particular, I'm surprised I've not seen anybody converting them yet. But with the silver armour as opposed to like the golden bit, looks really, really good. So Sisters of Silence Wargear. So Psych Arc grenades and missiles. Would you guess? It's just all psychic. So against like demons and stuff, it's going to be pretty one-sided. And interestingly, you know, because of all this, I'm not surprised if you've got like a ranged. Just to be really simplistic about it, if you've got a tank army and somebody else has anti-tank, like you're not going to play against them. Do you know what I mean? It's like if I've got Blood Angels or something and I'm playing against Tau, and there's no terrain on the board, and I'm just going to run up and they're going to sit at the back and shot me down. You know, with all the crazy ranged firepower, then like I'm going to be way less likely to take that game. And exactly the same way, if you're playing Chaos Demons or something like, you know, a Psych heavy army, you're going to be really less. It's going to be such an advantage to a point where I don't see that as a friendly game or whatever. Your mates are going to really want to play it because you've got such a tailored list, even by not necessarily by design, but just because of the rules they've got. So anyway, Psych grenades and missiles. Psych grenade. Thrown, 8-inch range, strength 2, assault 1 blast, Psy shock. A launcher is 24-inch range, strength 2, assault 1, blast 3-inch, Psy shock. And then a Psych missile, 48-inch, strength 2, heavy 1 blast, pinning and Psy shock. And Psy shock is if a unit containing at least one Psyker, i.e. a model with a Psyker Brotherhood of Psyker, Sorceress, or Psychic Pilot special rule is hit by a weapon with a Psyshock special rule. One randomly determined Psyker model in that unit suffers perils of the warp in addition to any other damage. So again, anti-Psyker, don't bring Psykers anywhere near him. So Proteus Neuro Lash, fashioned in the shape of a Baroque multi-headed flails or ornate 3-section staves. The Proteus Neuro Lashes are relics of the Age of Strife used against the most skilled warriors among the ranks of the Silent Sisters to subdue large numbers of assailants at once. The Neuro Prongs that adorn these weapons generate a phase-conducted shock shield which works to overload a victim's nervous system with bursts of intense agony so that even the slightest touch leaves them helpless. Awesome. So strength +1, two-handed, electro arc and sweeping strikes. My dog is barking downstairs, so I'll be back in a second. 1 minute. Yeah, what's up? I'm back. Basically, the people are moving out next door, and this dog just goes wild at anything. Anybody knocks on the door, anything comes through the door, dog just goes absolutely mental. So, Proteus Neuro Lash, strength +1, two-handed electro arc, and sweeping strikes. So, electro arc is total all hits caused by this weapon with this special rule during an assault phase before making any to wound rolls. Then roll a single d6 for each of these hits. On a 3-up, they cause additional hit with AP nothing, with the poisoned 4+ special rule. Right, so if you hit 3 times, you roll another 3 dice before the wound, and then on a 3-up on those extra 3 dice, you've got cause an additional hit, so it's automatically hit. So you add those to the wound roll. So for example, you roll 3, you get 3 hits, you roll 3 extra dice, and you get 2 3-ups on them. You've got then 5 dice to wound, 2 of the which obviously will be 4+ poison. So really useful, and again, could be super useful against like Dread Knights and things, you know, like monstrous creatures and things like that. So sweeping strikes, the bearer may choose to use a number of enemy models within 3-inch that are locked in combat with them instead of their attack score to determine the number of attacks they make in any assault phase. Cool. So if there's like 6 enemies around you, you can do 6 attacks instead of your base, which is pretty cool. Execution Blade, you can read all that again. Strength +1, AP 3, two-handed, piercing cut and duelist's edge. So the 2 special rules are if hit rolls of 5 or 6 are made for the attacks with this weapon are resolved separately at AP 2. Pretty cool. AP 3 anyway, but obviously it's going to make a difference. There's a lot of Artificer armor and Terminators obviously in 30k. Duelist Edge, when fighting in a challenge, the user of this weapon gets a +1 bonus to their initiative value. Really useful. Okay, Silent Sisterhood ranged weapons. So Stake Crossbow, 24-inch, strength 5, rapid fire Psy shock. Needle Pistol, 12-inch, strength 2, AP 5. Pistol, poisoned 4+ and rending. Assault Needler, exactly the same, 18-inch range, Assault 2, poison 4+ and rending. Snare Gun, 12-inch, strength asterisk. Assault 1, snare asterisk and pinning. Snare special rule is, if a weapon with this special rule inflicts a successful hit, this becomes D3 hits on the target unit. For each hit inflicted, the opposing player must make a strength test. For each failed strength test, the target suffers a single wound with no armor saves possible. You can take invulnerables, though. This weapon has no effect on gargantuan creatures or vehicles. So, interesting. That's got pinning as well, which is useful. So, a Drathic Destructor, same as the Talons of the Emperor. It's a melter gun, basically, with instant death and gets hot. So, 12-inch range, strength 5, AP 2. Assault 1, instant death, armor bane, gets hot. So, how do you pronounce that? Vratine? Vratina? I don't fucking know. Vratine armor. When a sister aspirant takes a final oath of duty and says the last words she will ever utter aloud in her lifetime, she is given a panoply of war, the Vratine armor. Literally the armor of the oath. It is a sub-pattern of technologically advanced battle gear, which shares design elements with both power armor and the Legiones Astartes in the silicate mesh of selenite void mail. Although unlike either of those famed armours, it is not, at least without additional gearing, fully environmentally sealed or designed for extended operations. It does, however, provide a formidable protection from ballistic impact and directed energy weapons, and it is tailored and forged uniquely to its intended wearer to allow them to allows them their complete freedom of movement and to augment their action speed. So 3+ armor save. Pretty good. Right, so that's it for the Sisters of Silence anyway. So I'm going to split up these videos now to make sure they're only like 20 minutes long, and I'll upload them in little patterns and that. So we've just finished the Sisters of Silence special rules and their Wargear and their all the anti-psycho stuff basically. In the next video, join me back and we'll start looking at some of these rules for the Talons of the Emperor. So as always, cheers for watching.